Hi, I'm Lori.
And I'm Jesse, and we have two daughters, Julia, who's almost 5, and Orly, who's almost 2.
We've been married for about 9 years, and we dated for 4 years before that.
We met in New York City on the street corner during the day.
Yeah, don't make it sound too racy. It turns out we had gone to preschool together in New Jersey and college together in Wisconsin, but we never met until that day on the street corner because we were with mutual friends, and the rest is history.
First we lived in New York City together, and we moved out to Tenafly, New Jersey, where we are now, about 4 years ago.
I came kicking and screaming. I loved our life in the city, but as Jesse thought,
We were in a one-bedroom apartment. Our first daughter was only 1.5 at the time, but with the three of us, it was just not enough space, and it was time to get some more space.
right. So here we are. It's a great town. We've met a lot of nice friends through our kids, and we are in a great neighborhood with lots of young families, and the kids are always all outside playing together, which is great.
The house we're in was built in the late 1920s. It's 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and everything's good.
Not everything.
Well,
We're talking about our first renovation, which is to our backyard. It's a much needed renovation. Some of the problems that we're facing back here, first and foremost, is that our back patio here is a combination of wooden deck and concrete slab.
the concrete is got stains all over it. There's cracks through the concrete. The step going from our back door to the concrete is all rickety and not in great shape. The wooden slats for the deck are starting to rot, and
You
also
didn't mention the worst part is that we also have a hot tub left over from the previous owners, which we have never used. I think it's surrounded by trees, maybe bugs. We're just not interested in it.
and living underneath this little deck with the jacuzzi is some sort of creature. I don't know what. There's a little burrow dug out in the ground underneath the deck. You can see some bite marks.
The
in
animal
wood.
actually took a chunk out of the wood. It's really gross. So we have to just rip this all up and do just a more simple, uniform, more modern paver stones to make it look nice and usable.
It's not a huge yard, so we'd like to maximize the space. Because right now we're wasting so much space with this jacuzzi that we don't even use.
Right, so that's a second challenge. We really need to maximize the space. The third problem is that
There's no storage back here.
there's no storage. It's crazy. We have all of our toys in the garage, which is completely crowded. And every time we have play dates and play groups here, it's absurd. We spend half the time carrying everything, the balls, the t-ball, the soccer net, inflatable pools, everything, from the garage to the backyard.
The garage is in the front, by the way, so you have to run around to the front of the house, get the toys, bring them back, and then usually by the time I get home from work, the backyard is full of toys, and I got to clean everything up, put it all back in the front of the house. So some sort of storage unit back here for all these toys would be fantastic.
Right, and like Jesse said before, we need to maximize the space. There is probably a little bit further back we could go and a further out we could go if we were able to push the trees borders a little bit. And also there's a slope in the back, so maybe if we could level the ground, we could get some more space that way. And I'd say 2 other quick things, but the list continues on, is that we could use some permanent entertainment back here. In addition to having to carry the toys back and forth, which is annoying, it'd be great if we just had something the kids could all use and enjoy without us needing to schlep stuff, like a space-saving swing set. I mean, I liked when we had that sand and water table for the kids.
Yeah, it's this little table, sand on one side, water on the other, but the problem is the sand spills out and it gets all over the grass and kills all the grass, and the water sits in there stagnant, attracts mosquitoes, gets moldy. It's disgusting.
All right, whatever. I know it's hard. And then the other thing that Jesse just reminded me is we have some bees flying around who seem to find a home in our...
Yeah, it looks like they're staying in a little light fixture on the side of the house, which I'm not thrilled about.
Right. So basically, I think that we're excited about the prospect of doing the renovation because we want to feel like we can enjoy the backyard that we moved to the suburbs for and haven't been able to fully utilize over these past 4 years. Next thing, what phase of renovation? So far, in terms of what phase of the renovation we're in, we've had a couple contractors come and give us estimates to do the pavers in the backyard, to rip out everything, including the hot tub, and lay the pavers. It's a little bit expensive, but
yeah, and we've got to keep the kids entertained. They can't use the backyard while it's going to be renovated.
we're not up to that. Stop.
What?
You have to do it all.